Alrighty. Not starting with music this time, cause we got a big stream ahead of us. Okay, gonna share the link. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Da-da-da. Alright, there we go. Link has been shared. People should start coming in. There we go. Alright, so, how we doing? How we doing in chat? Is anybody in chat? I don't know if anybody is in chat. Who's in chat? Okay. Alright, I am going to set up the actual stream thing. Don't need that. And text can be, hey Kai. Okay. Ranking Ruby episodes. Ba-ba. Okay. Alright. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this screen better. There we go. Okay. Fair. Alright, so. Oh my god. Whoa. Okay. So I'm gonna do one of these. Oh my gosh. So that can be done. Okay, so tonight we are going to be ranking Ruby episodes on a friggin' tier list of all things. We may have a special guest in a few moments, but we're gonna wait to see if said special guest can make it. I don't know if he can, but if he can, that would be fucking awesome. Oh god. Okay. Let's see. Stream quality is good, it says. So that should be good. Alright. Alright, so we're just gonna wait a little bit so said a special guest can confirm or deconfirm that he's coming. So how are we? How are we tonight? Gonna look at the chat here. Gonna look at this lovely chat. Okay. Movement is a little stilted, but alright. Jeopardy theme, please. I would love to have that. Like, I don't think I actually have the Jeopardy theme on my computer, which is like super unfortunate. Like, just move slower. Just move slower. Never doing that again. Okay. So special guests may join if they are up for it. Okay. That has been sent. Okay. Alright, I think... Yeah. I think I'm gonna start ranking them. So, now, I have stated my opinion on the seasons as a whole. That was in a short that I put out yesterday. Was that yesterday or was that today? I can't even remember. Because the views kind of just shot up randomly. I think it was yesterday that I put that video out. Yeah. Yeah, I put it out yesterday. Okay, cool. I can remember things. Oh my god. Okay. Man, I'm gonna have to multi-screen a lot of this. Okay. Yeah, that is perfectly fine, memory. That is perfectly fine. So, I did state my opinions on the volumes as a whole, or at least my thoughts on the complete volumes. But I wanted to go through this, and do the full episodes instead of just the volume as a whole, because I will admit, as dog shit as Volume 5 is, it has one of my favorite scenes from the whole entire show, which is something that cannot be said by any other volume. There's a certain scene in Volume 5. We're gonna get there eventually, I swear. But one of the conversations between the characters is just so genuine, and it feels so natural, and it brings a sense of humanity that the rest of the show really doesn't have a lot of the time. So we're going to get started here with Volume 1, Episode 1. It's a great introduction to the show, but overall, I would say it's not the best the show has to offer. So I'm going to give it bottom of B tier for now. It's again, it's not the best that the show has to offer, but it's certainly great for being a first episode. It has action, it has humor, it has substance. And I really like episode 1. It's titled Ruby Rose, so main character, there she is. All right, so oh god, the thing with Volume 1 is that some of the episodes are split into parts 1 and 2, and it's really annoying when you're trying to rank stuff. But we'll try. I believe this is let me actually look this up because Ruby episode list. Fuck you. Okay. Yeah, Shining Beacon. Shining Beacon is what this next one is. Yeah, episodes 1 and 2. Oh my god, did I even switch over to the thing? Oh, okay. Okay, I did switch over. Jesus Christ. I'm so disorganized today. So, episodes 2 and 3 are The Shining Beacon, parts 1 and 2. And I will say, these are also just not my favorites. I think that Shining Beacon Part 2 does a lot better for the show than Shining Part 1. But they're still not great. So I will put Shining Part 1 here. And Shining... I'll do that. I think that's the best way I can do it. Let's see. The first step was what was this one? Okay, so that's that one. I don't know where to place these next two. Again, because they're split into like multiple parts, they're pretty simple. Um, Jeez, I'm yawning a lot. Okay. I think we'll put this one admittedly down here. It's easily the worst like actual full episode. It does explain some of the things in the story, but it's overall it focuses on the Jean, Pyrrha, and Weiss thing, which especially at the beginning of the show is just not a great subplot. But I do think that part 2, where they actually start going into the Emerald Forest, is a great beat for the show. But it's still not... I think, actually, that this one goes here. Alright, so... Emerald Forest, parts 1 and 2. We get the encounter with the Ursa and Yang with her losing her strand of hair, which is great. And her and Blake teaming up. Oh. I have a message. Okay. Let's see what else happens in that episode. The fire starts because of Weiss and Ruby. Let's see. We learn about Aura, which is actually really cool. I think that automatically puts it like right here, right now. And we get... Oh, yeah, we of course have the fantastic moment of Nora. I still don't think sloths make that noise. Boop. Which is by far one of the best moments in the show. I think this will go right here. Right here. Yeah. I think that's one of the most entertaining little moments of the show. It's just so cute, it's so adorable, and it's so Nora and Ren. I really love that. Alright. Shining Beacon Part 2, or Emerald Forest Part 2, sorry. This one isn't much, I'll admit. Start with that. The argument between Ruby and Yang, it's not much. We get how about a cute little pony? From Yang, let's see. We get one of the best comedic lines in the show with when Jean screams. When Jean, the guy, screams, Yang just calls out, "Some girl's in trouble!" It's fantastic. I love that line. Well delivered, well paced. And then they look at Ruby, who's falling from the sky. I think this episode, even though it has action, but it's not good action. I'll admit, like, it's okay action, and then players and pieces. This is a straight fucking S tier. I do not care what anybody's opinion of Ruby is. I think that the color trailers cemented a style for the show that didn't get replicated until this point. See, the color trailers were all about the cool fight choreography and animation. And every single one of these episodes had like minor hints of that level of choreography. With episode 1 having the next most comparatively, but I think just in general, the fight scene in Players and Pieces with the Nevermore Grim is one of the coolest things to date, I think, that RWBY has ever done. It's so damn cool. What that fight brings to the table, the level of environment that are used to make the fight better, how everything flows. It's just so cool. It's so fucking cool. Yeah, Bad Players and Pieces is just an S tier episode, and it's the longest episode of the volume thus far for the series, running at 13 minutes. So episode length too. Badge and the Burden Part 1, it's fun. It's a good romp. And we get the team building, we get the introduction of Professor Peter Port, who is just a hoot and a half. So I'll put it here, I think. It's not nearly as good as this. Badge and the Burden Part 2, though, I actually really like this episode. I might be one of the few who doesn't like it as much as other people, or likes it more than other people. Sorry. But Badge and the Burden was really cool because it showed the contrast between Ruby and Weiss as teammates and how they would function as leaders. And I think that was a really cool concept. And it also foreshadowed Ozpin way the fuck back in Volume 1 with him saying, "Ruby, I have made more mistakes than any man, woman, child on this planet." And it's this nice bit of foreshadowing all the way the hell back in Volume 1. So I'm actually going to put it here, because I really like this episode. And now we get to the bully arc, which is by far one of the worst pieces of media RWBY as a whole has to offer. And it's just awful, dude. I'm putting the only one that deserves to go above D tier is the last episode, because I do think that one's actually good. It introduces the proper usage of semblances in the show, but the rest of these can go in D, and even with episode 12, F tier, which is just a damn shame, because it makes Volume 1, like, it makes the highs of Volume 1 really high, but it makes the lows embarrassingly low, and it's so frustrating. And then we have The Stray and Black and White, which is a really good arc for the show. I'm going to put The Stray up here and Black and White right here. I love these two episodes. I love Black and White, I believe it is. Let me just look. No. Yeah, the Stray is episode 15. Black and White is this one. I love The Stray specifically because of the concepts that it brings forth. It brings back the White Fang. It brings back, Torchwick into the front. But it also brings development to Blake and Weiss. And it tells you that, these characters aren't exactly perfect. They have a lot to work through, with Weiss being a bit racist, and Blake being a previous member of the White Fang. And it's really cool. And the dichotomy of them in the interactions during this episode is great too. And I love the ending of, well, maybe we were just sick and tired of being pushed around. The outburst from Blake. Also, we get introduced to Penny and Sun, which is fantastic. I love both of those characters, the little sunshine rainbows. And V116, the finale of Volume 1, is just damn near perfection. I'm actually going to put it above Badge and Burden Part 2 because I really love Episode 16. The choreography, especially in the fight of Blake and Sun against Roman, is just so fun. And we get to see the gunchucks, nunchucks that are also guns, from Sun. And that is just one of the coolest things I think that the show ever did, was showcase the gunchucks. And Monty did such a good job at, making the fight scene serious, even though the weapons that were on display, especially in that fight, were not serious, like, at all. And the other thing that was really cool is just the fact that Roman can keep up with both Blake and Sun without using a semblance. Not only keeping up, but kind of besting them, both of them, in that fight until Penny came along, which was really cool. And of course, we can't talk about that episode without talking about Penny, because Penny is just best girl. Penny is wonderful. Penny is love. Penny is life. Oh my God. We love our android girl. We love her so much. She is great. She is love. She is life. We're going to talk about her way more a bit later on. But so, yeah. I really like the finale of Volume 1. It actually, like, looking at this, it makes Volume 1 the perfect mixed bag. There are some good episodes, and there are some bad ones. But I think the show really needed to find its footing. And I think that especially in Volume 2, they did. Because there's a part of me that's like, Volume 2 is objectively better than Volume 1, but I think there are some things about Volume 1 that are better than Volume 2. So let's just keep going. So, Best Day Ever. They also increased their episode length by like 2 times what it originally was, which is just fucking insane. So we have the 14-minute opener of Best Day Ever, and I think this can go just straight into it. You know what? Yeah, low S tier this episode. This is just the best. I think this episode might be my favorite opener of the show. It shows us our villains. It shows us our heroes, and it shows us one of the best damn fight scenes in the entire show with the over-the-top food fight, which is just such a fun, chaotic, ridiculous scene to go through. It's so fun. It's so, as I said, it's so over the top, but it really works, especially in this universe. It really makes sense that this would be a thing that actually happens. And we get the first proper usage of Petal Burst, Ruby's Semblance, which is really cool. Welcome to Beacon. This episode introduces us to Robot Man himself, one of the best, damn near one of the best developed characters in the show. Mr. James Ironwood, which is fantastic stuff. I love Ironwood as a character, and I think that his turn at the end of Volume 7 and into Volume 8 is grossly underappreciated. So, yeah. But we get some of the dialogue in there is really good. Some of it's okay. And we get one of the best quotes in the series with Ironwood asking Ozpin, "Do you really expect your children can win a war?" And Ozpin just simply responds, "I hope they never have to." And it's just one of the most tragically dark things in the show. So I'm going to put it right here. I don't think it's better than Benjamin Burton Part 2 or Black and White, but I think it is really good. Next one, we have A Minor Hiccup, which I think will go right here, like before we even get into it, because they introduced us to the best character costumes in the entire damn show. I say without question that Team RWBY's Volume 2 hunt gear is so good. Weiss's Snow Pea outfit, Yang's Hunter is her best design for the show. I wouldn't say Blake's is the best design for her character ever, but it's still a really good one. And Ruby's is really cool too. I really just love the alternate outfits in this episode. I think they are fantastic, and I think they make it seem more real, you know. They wouldn't use their typical gear for this mission. So, with this one, we get Neptune and Sun tagging along with Blake and Yang. We reunite with Penny, which is really nice. I do like that bit. We hear about Winter and Jacques in this episode, you know, broadening the world a bit. We get introduced to the Atlesian Knight, the Atlesian Knights 200 models and the Paladin 290s, which is fun. And we also get the beginning of the revelation that Penny, quote, is not a real girl. Oh shit. Okay. Hold on. Hello.
I have arrived.
You have arrived. So, we are currently on Volume 2 right now.
Okay.
To those in the stream who are there, I don't know if anyone's actually fucking there, but this is Eli, one of my friends,
Oh.
and he has decided to join me.
Oh, you might need. Hang on.
What?
I was gonna get you.
What?
I don't know if you wanted to put me on screen or not, but I have options.
No,
They're
you're good.
transparent.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
You can pick either one. It's fine. I don't have a camera, so I would have to be one of my PNGs probably right now.
Yeah, sure, why not? Ba-ba-ba-ba. Well, I don't know how I would, like... Like, I don't know how I would operate that on stream. I don't know.
Nah, that's okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
You're
I'm just
a
chilling.
you're a figment of my mind now. You're like Ash and Matt on GT Live.
I am a disembodied voice.
Yeah. um. So right now, we were just discussing Volume 2, Episode 3, which is we get the we get the we get the reveal of Penny not being a real girl in this one. The episode ends with her outstretching her hands to Ruby and saying, "I'm not a real girl." And I love this episode because it gave us. Oh my God, is my audio working on Discord, by the way? Like,
Yeah.
okay. We get the reveal of the Volume 2 outfits for Team Ruby, which are just so fucking good. I wish they kept them. I need those outfits back in the show, please.
I don't like my favorite outfit is whichever volume has the I sent you the one where are we hiding as many spoilers as possible or what's happening?
No, spoilers are fine.
Okay, the one where it's the two of them and Adam. Those are the outfits I like best.
Gotcha.
I really like that Yang outfit a lot.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Don't worry, we'll get there.
Okay. I didn't believe in the bees until that moment.
Yeah, that is a certified B moment. And then, yeah, I think we're gonna place, Volume 2, Episode 3, like, right around here, because I don't think it's very eventful, but it's still got some good stuff. Now, oh my lord, probably one of my personal favorite episodes, Painting the Town, with the mech fight and the highway fight in Volume 2. God, this episode is so good. S tier, I think.
So I'll tell you, the first time I watched it through, the reason we're rewatching it the way we are now is because the first time I watched it through, my laptop was really laggy because of the internet I had. And so with Trixie's laptop streaming it to me, everything was like every other frame. So all of the fight scenes were every other frame for me.
Yeah, that certainly does dumb down the experience a little bit.
Yeah, so the Nevermore fight was awesome, but every other frame.
yeah, that's like peak Ruby for me. The Nevermore fight. God, it's so good. But yeah, the mech fight, introducing the team attacks and the ship named Bumblebee, like into the actual show. And it's funny because the team attacks were based off of the ship names that the community came up with, so they just integrated them into the show that way, which was just a really cute little detail. For the You didn't? Oh, cool. And we also get probably one of the most heartwarming scenes in just the very beginning of the episode, with Ruby saying to Penny the statement of, just because you've got nuts and bolts doesn't, instead of squishy guts, means I don't care about you. It's such a heartwarming scene. It's one of the few scenes that it doesn't feel scripted. It feels so natural. There are a lot of moments where things do feel very scripted and very, robotic in some situations, but it's like that one just feels like the voice actors were in a room and they were told, this is the situation, improvise this. and it feels just like a naturally flowing conversation. It's so fucking good.
It is a really sweet scene.
Yeah. I don't know. That one just, it warms my heart every time. And it makes me wish Nuts and Bolts was canon. I miss Penny. Both times I missed Penny. The second time was worse.
Penny's song the next time.
Yeah. All right. So, let's see. Extracurricular. This isn't a really eventful episode. I think it's just most of this episode is Pyrrha's fight against the entirety of Team Cardinal, which is cool because Pyrrha is Pyrrha and Pyrrha is just about Best Girl for like the first 3 volumes of the show. And I will not be taking any questions.
You forgot. You said Ilia wrong?
I said for the first 3 volumes. Ilia's not in the first 3 volumes. She comes in volume 4. So, put respect on Pyrrha's name.
Pyrrha is very nice.
Yes. Although, yo!
Hello.
What? I did not say you could come in here. What?
I never knew there was any specification as to... I mean, it's a private VC, but apparently I had the ability to join, so...
Oh, because you're mod.
Yeah.
We're discussing RWBY episodes on stream, so you're on stream right now.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, stream this.
I was in the stream ago, but then I saw.
So
I heard someone else's voice. I'm like, is there a VC going on? So.
But yes, stream. This is Ember. They are one of my moderators, and if you. Yeah, if y'all do wrong things in the live chat, it can show you out. But anyway, yeah. Volume 2, episode 5 is okay. It has a really cool fight scene in the beginning, but everything else is just not great, and it's very melodramatic. Especially I specifically remember Blake's speech of, but we may never be ready. The enemy is coming whether we're ready or not. And even the voice actors have memed on that line delivery so often that it's kind of become iconic in the RWBY meme community. I think it's great, but it's like, it really puts the episode in a bad light. It's very melodramatic. It's very It's a very episode, I would say, besides the fight in the beginning, but it has the fight in the beginning. So I think I'm going to put it like bottom of B-ish. I'll put it at like right here. Above episodes. Yeah. I think that's where I'll put it. Thoughts?
You're trying to put other possibly entertaining shows into my life, and I can't have that.
I think that's a good spot for it. Yeah, for the reason you listed. I like the scene in the fight and stuff's really good, but yeah.
Yeah, the rest of it is just kind of after that.
It's kind of mid.
Yeah. Okay, now, Burning the Candle, Volume 2, Episode 6, the first real Bumblebee interaction is here, with Blake and Yang talking, and Yang explaining her emotions behind Raven, and the abandonment and the curiosity and the journey that she and Ruby took when they were children, and the message of, I'm not asking you to stop, I'm asking you to slow down. And that scene is another one of those scenes very similar to in Painting the Town with Ruby and Penny that just really sounds like they were given a baseline for what the situation had to be, but they were just told it, like it feels like they were told what the situation was, but other than that, they were just told to improvise. It really feels like that. It's such a heartwarming scene. And at the very end, with Yang looking back at her, winking with the "I'll save you a dance," is, again, the first real sign of the Bumblebee ship in the show. And, like, Rooster Teeth has said that they planned a lot of things from the beginning, and I don't believe them on a lot of them, but Bumblebee was something that I was like, they did plan this. They did sow the seeds in here in a few places. And I do like this episode because of that.
From what I understand, the bees were canon for Monty as well.
Yeah, he wanted them to be canon in Volume 1, but they just didn't have the time for that, which was just wild. And I love the fact that there are so many people who go out there and say, like, Monty wouldn't have wanted the bees, and it's like, Monty would have been ashamed of the woke LGBTQ trash, and it's like, have you seen Monty Ohm? That is the most queer man I have ever seen in my life.
He's the queerest man to ever queer.
He is. He's so extra, and for no reason. Like, the man did insane levels of choreography for dancing, and he mocapped the dancing himself. The man, and also, like, what's the one thing he made, Haloid, where it was revealed that Samus was a woman prior, but also that the Spartan here was a woman. And they got together at the end of the thing, and it's like, you guys really... Why? Yeah, I really like this episode.
The part where, like you were saying, where Yang was talking to Blake in the classroom, that part, like, really is emotional for me too. So
yeah. And I also love the fact that throughout the entire thing, Yang doesn't resort to her usual anger and her outbursts. She stays calm the entire time and is just like, I know what this is like. I know what it's like to pursue something and burn yourself out. I'm going to put it just under Painting the Town because, unlike Painting the Town, it doesn't have an epic fight scene, but it's still really good.
I mean, I think the scene in the classroom is more better than a fight scene, but that's just me.
But I mean,
I like emotional scenes better than fight scenes.
Well, the fight scene along with the Ruby and Penny scene makes Painting the Town.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Dance Infiltration. See, I have mixed feelings about this episode, because it's like, yeah, it's cool. We get the dance, the traditional the prom night of every queer animated show to ever exist, which is just it's a weird subgenre of episodes in animated series, because we got one for Owl House, we got one for Amphibia, we got one for Ruby, we got one for She-Ra. It's like we got one for Korra even too, and it's
Steven Universe has one.
Yep, we got one for Steven Universe. There are a couple of them in Adventure Time, if I'm right, and it's like every single queer animated show has one. It's like, where does this mysterious genre come from? I don't know.
I can't tell by the thumbnails which one, where the food fight get put?
Above Painting the Town.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that is like second best episode so far.
Okay. It's a really good episode. I like how they, like, disalign or misalign the talking with like the vocals.
Yeah.
Like it's a like an old action movie.
Yes. I think Volume 2, Episode 1, next to a certain volume opener, which I won't talk about yet, is probably the best volume opener for the show. I think that V2E1 is just so good. But yeah, like Dance Infiltration, it's cool. We get the prom. We get the actually kind of awesome scene with Ruby and Ozpin with the conversation of like it's good to slow down every once in a while because these moments are fleeting, and as we know from the rest of the series, this truly is one of like the last really happy moments these characters get. So it's like that bit of foreshadowing too is really cool because he's like, this is one of the last chances you'll have to truly, act like yourselves, act like teenagers before things get bleak. And it's like a really nice bit of foreshadowing that we really didn't think about back then. We get let's see. We get the Cinder infiltration, who is encountered by Ruby at like the very end of the episode, and of course we get Jean in a dress, which is just chef's kiss, wonderful
It's
stuff.
a very nice dress.
Oh, and he looks great in it. And we get the dance scene with Team Juniper at the end, which is just probably one of my favorite things that Monty ever animated. Like, fight scenes, nah, but his dance choreography is so good. So good. I actually really like this episode. I think I'm going to put it right above episode 1 of the show, because I don't think it reaches the heights of the others, but I do think it's really good. Thoughts?
I have a question.
What's that?
Did you have to like go rewatching to know everything that happens in every episode, or do you know this off the top of your head?
I know this mostly off the top of my head.
Wow. I looked up the tier list. There's so many episodes.
Yeah, I think there's actually over 100 episodes in Ruby now. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's kind of nutty to admit to myself. I've invested over 100 episodes of this shit. So, the next one is Field Trip, where we actually get the best, or one of the best pieces of dialogue in the series, with Ironwood and Glinda talking near the beginning of the episode. And Ironwood is suggesting that they send military troops to the southeast to get rid of the threat. And Glinda just says, "Why must you treat every single battle as a contest of measuring And then she gets cut off because it's rated PG and they didn't want that.
It is a very, very good moment.
And we also... What's that?
Like, Linda just doesn't get enough recognition, and it makes me mad.
She doesn't. And what I love about Glinda's character in general is that she is the concept of sexy librarian brought to, like, beyond 10, and nobody in universe mentions it. They don't use it as an excuse to, like, ogle at her or whatever. She's just a walking bombshell, and the show's just like, but she's a normal character.
No, she don't have a titty window like Salem.
She has a boob window.
This is weird without context, honestly.
Where'd you say Winter?
She does. She
does?
has a... It's more of a V line, but It's not a full-on titty window.
Ah, okay. That might make part of the difference.
Her weapon is also a riding crop, which is just the funniest thing ever.
Amazing. And like, she's so powerful.
Yes, she's wonderful. I need her to return in universe.
I would like that.
And I would like even though I don't think that's gonna happen, I want Kathleen Zolch, the original voice actress, to come back for her, because that would be really cool. Because she was the voice of Tex in Red vs. Blue, but we're not talking about that show. Jesus Christ, ranking episodes for that show would take a long time. There's 18 seasons of that shit. So yeah, I like this episode. Oh, and of course, we also get introduced to Zwei. Doggo.
That's why.
Cannonball Doggo. Which is just awesome. So, I think this will go just under Volume 1, Episode 1. Like the first episode. Yeah. I think it is really good, but I don't think, as I said, I don't think it's better than these ones. All right.
You have to rank the next one pretty decently just because of Cannonball.
Cannonball Zwei doesn't come until episode 11 of Volume 2. We're on...
never mind. I don't care what happens.
I actually... wait. Is it this episode or... Okay. Okay, so this one isn't much, but we do get Best Teacher Oobleck, and his enthusiasm with everybody, and acknowledging that Ruby was a genius for bringing Zwei along, which is great.
Very supportive and trying to like teach the team like the reason different aspects of their personalities work to create the team and keep it like flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
that. And we'll talk about with the next episode, because that's a lot more prevalent in like the beginning of that episode. But yeah, he begins questioning everybody's motives, like asking why they became huntresses. And probably one of my favorite moments in the volume is when he answers Ruby's question of why he became a huntress. And he points out the buildings and he says, "What do you see here? I see lives that could have been saved. And I see things that I can see, things that I can analyze and examine and learn from the mistakes here." And it's such a cool look into his character, because it's so often that he's just this ridiculous, off the wall, too fast for his own good and everybody else's own good, scatterbrained guy. But in that moment, you really see him being a huntsman. You see why he was employed as a teacher at Beacon. You see why he's there. And it's one of those really cool moments in the show that, again, it's like painting the town and burning the candle. It's one of those encounters where it's like it feels so natural, even though it's very scripted. I don't know. Thoughts? Or no thoughts? I don't know.
It's just fun to hear people talk about something I know nothing about.
Then why are you still here? I didn't mean for that to sound
all the entertainment.
For the entertainment. Yeah. I think this is like an A-tier episode. I really think it is. I think it is really good. Because of that scene at the end. And then V2 episode 10 is even better, because I think we get another one of the best conversations in the volume with Weiss Blake and Yang talking to each other about Oobleck's questions and why they became huntresses. And that conversation has so much foreshadowing leading to volume 9 that it is ridiculous.
Say that.
Like, episodes 9 and 10 of V2 play so well into the themes of volume 9 that it's hard to view those scenes and not think this shit really flew over my head back then.
What was nice about my first watch through is I got to watch volume 1 through, I think, 6 or 7.
Holy shit.
And then watch the new ones, because that's when Trixie and I started watching them together. It was, I think, before volume 7 came out.
You lucky fucker. Jeez.
Yeah. And so I was able to sit and look at those things from the previous volumes,
Yeah.
and have them fresh when 7 started and stuff. And I would like, Trixie likes it when I spin my wheels, and so like I'll have thoughts and I'll have things that I think are gonna happen or things that I think are happening, and I'll tell her, and I always get really excited when I guess correctly.
Yeah.
And I was pretty decent at that with Ruby.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I've been here since literally volume 1. I've had to wait year to year for releases, and we're going to talk about it, but the wait between volumes 3 and 4 was agonizing. We're going to get there, though. Now, volume 2, episode 11, best episode of the volume, because we get the train. The entire fight's on the train. Weiss versus the chainsaw guy, Yang versus Neo, Blake versus Torchwick, and of course, Cannonballs Y. I mean, you cannot get much better action in this show than in this episode. It has so much happening so quickly, and it's so good. We get introduced to, well, properly introduced to Neo, the pint-sized powerhouse that she is. She just absolutely wipes the floor with Yang. She doesn't even get hit in that fight, and that is so funny to me. Oh my god.
realizing now that Trixie and I's real life height difference is sort of Big Alaska in comparison.
That's fair. Although Blake is only 5'8", canonically. And Neo is... Wait, no.
No, Big Alaska I thought was Yang and Neo.
Yeah. I said Yang, right?
You said Blake.
Oh. Yeah, Yang is the tallest member of Team Ruby at like 5'8". And Neo is... I want to say like 4'7".
Yeah, Trixie's a whole foot taller than me.
I still find that crazy. She's 4'7". She's so small.
Yeah.
And then we get the finale. I actually really like the last episode. I think it's really fun. The entire beginning, and we get the introduction of the weapon and semblance of the lesbian ever, Coco from Team Coffee. God, I love her design. I love her weapon. A purse that turns into a Gatling gun is just the funniest thing. It's the most Monty thing to ever be Montied, and it's wonderful. We get...
If it isn't also a gun, is it truly a Ruby weapon?
Then it's just John's weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. I think this one, it's definitely not the volume's best, but it's better than quite a few of the episodes in the volume. Like, bottom of A tier for me, I think that this one goes. Yeah. And I do love, the line from Weiss, not every story has a neat and tidy ending. That's going to be really important for the next 12 episodes we go to, because we're going to volume 3 now. Oh boy.
So excited. Let's do this.
Volume 3 is pain. Volume 3 hurts.
Volume 3 is so much pain that you still feel it now.
But it's also, like, I think that writing-wise, I think the show has had higher highs than Volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think in terms of fight scenes, there have been higher highs than Volume 3. But I don't think anything RWBY will ever be as RWBY as Volume 3 was. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think so.
Volume 3 just had this essence to it that just felt like the show was in the place it wanted to be the entire time. It had this fullness to it. It had the Poser Engine animation. It had Monty's style mixed with some of the best writing from Miles and Carrie in the show. Some of the best.
I think the way that the tournament is done is very good.
Yes.
And then all of the story happening around it, and like everything that's going on behind like the scenes with like the different groups and things. I think it's a very good volume.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would say it's probably one of the best to me. I really like 3, despite the pain.
Yeah. I think because I said it in
really
my
constructed well.
I said it in my little ranking video. My ranking goes 3, 9, 7, 8. I think I said, oh my god, I can't even fucking remember. I messaged it to Tyler. Let me pull up this list. Yeah. 3, 9, 7, 8, 6, 4, 1, 2, 5. That's my order of favorites. And I purely think that it's because Volume 3 is the most RWBY that RWBY has ever been.
I would like to address Princess in the YouTube chat, by the way. 5'8" is tall. I'm 5'6". And I'm short. I feel very short next to someone who's like 5'9", 5'11".
I think I'm like 5'9.5", I want to say.
I am a very short man.
I am 5'4.5". Imagine being tall.
I have to get.
That's like a real skill issue.
I have to have a baby booth so I can get into the cupboards above my sink and my oven. Like, come on. Can I reach the top of my fridge if it's all the way in the very front?
Real.
And yes, I can confirm that Kai is only 5'1", because
My mom
I know her
is,
in real life. So
my mom is 4'11" on a good day.
does it fluctuate?
It depends on if it's raining. She can kind of hit 5 foot. If she couldn't now, or the way her body's just kind of not working as much as it used to. She hit 5'1", I think, was her tallest.
Nice.
Very short. Wait, standing next to Trixie. Well,
Yeah.
Seeing my mom standing next to Trixie was a lot.
Like, she's taller than Mia, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember Mia talking about when y'all met up. And she was like, that's one of the first times I've ever actually had to look up at someone.
Yeah. To look up at both of them. So, you know, Mia less so than Trixie, but
Yeah.
it was. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine to do that, to be that short the rest of my life. I am a short king. I am taller than Lucifer canonically.
You
so
are taller than Lucifer
that's what
canonically, so.
matters.
All right, volume
That's
3. Episode 1 is really strong. I really like this episode. I think the opening of it is the most emotional we've got in a volume opener, with Ruby talking to her mom's grave at the very beginning. It's such a heartwarming scene, and even though there are some times that I have gripes with Lindsay's voice acting as Ruby, it's sometimes a bit too high-pitched for her. I do really think that she nails this opening scene. I really think it's cool. We get the first tournament fight. We get Mercury sniffing a boot. And then we get Blake wanting fish in the food stand.
Kai, no, not Cinderella's cat. Lucifer Has Been Hotel.
Oh yeah, have you seen Has Been yet, Kai? Have you actually watched it or no? I think Volume 3, Episode 1 is a really strong start. I would put it at, like, top of B, because I don't think it's at the same level as these boys, but...
I wouldn't give it top of B, but it's not technically my list, so...
Where would you put it?
I would still put it in B, but, like, probably behind V27 or V2 or V11, probably.
Okay.
It is a really good opening, but like compared to the other 2 episodes there.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Ah, gotcha. Okay, so V3 episode 2, we get the first glimpse of the best character in Crow. Just kidding. He's not the best character, but he's definitely up there for me. I think
Crow is amazing, and he deserves so much better.
he does. And we're not going to talk about what happens to him in Volume 7 with a specific flower named character, because God, it hurts.
Move past it. Okay, we don't have to talk about it right now.
We don't have to talk about it right now, but we will have to later. We get for Volume 3, Episode 2, we get the Juniper fight and the Team Sun fight, which I really like. The Team Juniper fight. I'm not as big a fan as like of the Sun fight as I am with that, because it's like Sun's teammates get dished out right away, and then they win because all of their opponents were standing in water. That's kind of a cheap victory.
Yeah, I feel like the fight could have been much better.
I do.
Like, the girls did really well, but then yeah, the way it ends is just really
Anticlimactic.
it's just really...
I do love the humor at the end of the Team Juniper fight, though. With Jean going, Ren, Nora, flower power, and they're just like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. I love how when they think that making Nora like using like a I don't even know, it's like a cattle prod or something, like taser or whatever, and they're like, haha, she's down, and it's like, haha, yeah, get fucked.
Yeah, that's right. That's also the first we see of Nora's semblance, her electricity charging, which plays a big role in quite a few episodes for the heroes winning, which is actually kind of wild.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Be strong and hit stuff. I
really like Nora.
Yes.
Nora and Ren are really special to me.
Yeah. A very transmasc and transfemme coded ship, by the way. Like, Ren
Mia's
Ren
sorry.
Ren is like Ren is NB for me because of the hair, probably. I'll be real. And it's like Nora is a questioning trans mask. That's like everybody's headcanon in the wider community.
Headcanon is Nora is Trixie, and I'm so that's just how it works. Like in real life.
You know what? That's
very-
actually pretty fair.
yeah.
That sounds like it
really
would be you too.
Yeah. No.
I feel like this one goes behind V3 episode 1. Again, the endings of the fights were pretty anticlimactic, but it's not horrible. It has some good humor moments. I think it would go like right here. Still in B tier.
Put it there. Yeah.
All right. This is a completely subjective one for me, but It's a Brawl in the Family is the next best episode for me.
It's a good one.
Because we get the absolute best exchange of lines in the show. If you were one of my men, I would have you shot. If I was one of your men, I'd shoot myself.
Yeah.
God.
Okay.
We get the introduction of Crow and Winter. We get their fight, which is, I think, up to this point, just about the best animated fight in the show, next to Yang vs. Neo and the Players and Pieces fight. And we get the ending dialogue with, introducing the concept of, or at least hinting at the concept of the maidens. Crow just being an absolute savage. You see this? That's the send button.
I think James, I don't like James. He's so in his head. I just can't stand him at all. He's just so far up his own rear end.
I think we're going to talk about Ironwood later, but I think he's one of the best written characters in the show. Like, by far.
Yeah.
Like
I've only seen all of them once. So I when we were watching 9, I had to be reminded of a few things.
yeah.
Or my memory cleared up on a few things. So I know that at some point James actually gets pretty juicy, thick lore going on.
Yeah.
And so it does get better. But
Yeah, I think his development from Volume 3 to Volume 8 is really solid. I think his character writing is just fucking awesome.
yeah. All right.
And then Volume 3, Episode 4. It's okay.
If it helps, I don't remember it.
We get the Emerald and Mercury versus Coco and Yatsu from Team Coffee. We get that fight, which it's cool. It
Coffee?
yes, Team Coffee. Great team.
Good team.
Great characters.
They're all named after colors.
Yes.
I just want to say that I had kind of stopped paying attention for a couple minutes, and then I just heard, "I'd shoot myself," and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Jesus.
Great. What a great thing to hear completely out of context. It's wonderful. I'm so happy for you.
If you were one of my men, I would have you shot. If I was one of your men, I'd shoot myself.
Oh, I remember that clip. You sent that to me. Actually.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, that was from Volume 3, Episode 3. And it's so good.
I need to. I feel like I should watch this show now.
You should. I think you absolutely should. It's a great watch.
All right then. I know what I'm doing the rest of spring break.
Yeah, we get that fight, which it's cool. It reveals, it hints to Emerald's illusion semblance, which is just honestly the most broken semblance in the show, by the way. That's, oh my god.
Really OP'd. And it's cool, but it's got a lot that it can do.
And especially in volume, I think it's 7 or 8, like the thing works on fucking Salem, which is like, what?
Yeah, and it's like, wait, hold on, Salem. Like, I don't want to give too much away, but like,
You know,
Salem, like this ancient being.
Salem is a veritable god, and it's
And
like
here-
this one 19-year-old semblance works on her.
She's 19. This one girl, 19 years old, compared to thousands of years of demonic energy, just comes up here and just spooks the hell out of her. And it's like, amazing. Good job, I'm all so proud.
Well, there's a conversation I'm gonna get into later about specifically Cinder and her character, with her age in the timeline of RWBY, and I think I'll bring up a decent point that people never thought of with a certain episode. But yeah, volume 3, episode 4 is okay. Oh, we also learned that the Shnees, the semblances are hereditary, with the glyphs and the summoning and all that. And I think we get one of the more interesting scenes with that first starts off as Crow with the "I was defeated by the mere sight of the innkeeper's skirt length." That transitions into the conversation where he says, "You really think 4 girls and their friends can stop all crime in a kingdom? Crime hasn't just dropped.
Yes.
Crime hasn't just dropped since Roman got nabbed. It stopped completely." And it's like this. I think this episode is where the tone shift of the show really set in, because there's a lot of elements like the defeat of Coco and Yatsu, Winter's conversation with Weiss, and then that conversation there that really hints at, like, this volume is going in a different direction now. And I think I can really commend it for that.
I don't know if it's been mentioned yet that Crow's negative quality that isn't his semblance. I don't want to say it out loud.
The
because-
bird?
No, the negative quality.
The one
Yeah.
that isn't his semblance.
I don't want to say it because of Mia. I don't know if she's here.
DM me it? Oh, that. Oh.
Yeah, that.
Oh.
I think it's kind of important for people to know because of his character.
Yeah. I mean, it was brought up in the beginning, like the retaliating like that certainly didn't help the situation. He's drunk. He's always drunk. And it's presented, I think, almost entirely through volume 5. Like, volume 6 was the first time that side of him was ever presented as a problem.
Yeah.
It was all like, oh, he's the cool drunk uncle. But again, we'll get to volume 6 and why that's so cool later on. But
I thought it was kind of like important because of the way that some of his lines come across.
yeah.
It's easier to like picture him saying them like over a bottle.
Yeah.
Because that's where he lives.
Yeah. I think this is another one that's like behind or ahead of volume 2 episode 8.
But we could put it behind 8 too.
Okay.
Put it behind 8. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Let's talk about 5.
episode 5, Never Miss a Beat. This probably has the most entertaining fight in the whole show with
Team Funky.
yes,
Right?
Team Funky, Flint Cole and Neon Cat, who are based off of an Achievement Hunter meme, Flint Cole, and Nyan Cat. And it's so fun. Meg Turner as Neon is the best casting choice I think the show has ever had. Her voice performance is so fun. The voice imitations, another one of the best quotes in the show. You should really try rollerblading sometime. It might take a while though, since you're so top heavy. And it's like the audacity of this woman. Yeah. The fight between them is so fun. I really love it. We also get the reveal that Cinder knows that Penny is a robot, which is that plays into later. And then the ending with Crow and Ozpin summoning Pyrrha to the office. I think the fight scene carries this episode for me because it's just so fun. But I think otherwise it's a very mid episode, I would say.
Yeah, I would. I mean, the cliffhanger of Pyrrha going into the office is probably the best part of it for me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it was going to happen, and it didn't anybody else, and then she's just in his office.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's another one that can go under Volume 2, Episode 8. we have a slew of these things. God damn. And then the big one. The moment in the show where everything changed. Volume 3, Episode 6. We get the entire reveal of the Maidens. We get, Pyrrha being the one who's chosen to be the next in line to receive the Maiden powers, and then the battle with Yang and Mercury, with the leg being broken, the illusion of what Yang did. And it's just, this episode literally changed the show forever, I think. There's so much packed into this episode that makes every second of the episode have this air of unease and discomfort and just, I don't want to be here, I want to go home. That kind of thing. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get that, yeah.
And I especially love that we get to see, and I'll talk about it in Volume 3, Episode 8, but we get to see Pyrrha and Yang completely out of their elements here, because these, throughout the show, have been traded as two very strong, confident, headstrong women. Strong ladies. But both of them here are put into positions where they are completely powerless, where they have no idea what to do. And it's such an interesting dichotomy for their characters. It's so cool. It's like the writers really stepped up their game with this volume. And from here on out, I think that the show really became what it wanted to be up until the end of Volume 3. I don't think there's been a moment in RWBY that's been more RWBY than the last 6 episodes of Volume 3. It has this air of mystery. It has the air of the action and adventure, but it's just got so much heart in it too. It has 3 years of payoff that just culminate in these last 6 episodes, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I think we can put Volume 3, Episode 6 as the best episode so far. What do we think?
Yeah, I could go with that.
I love how it's just... Yeah.
No,
Just me gives paragraphs long explanation. I agree with that.
I'm sorry. I was Curran had messaged me. He had shared his charts for his in your server, and he asked where I had shared them.
Gotcha.
But no, yeah, finding out when yeah, the whole situation with Yang, when that happened, I was not doing well because I didn't have this thing where when things are going wrong, and they shouldn't be because people are making them go wrong and they shouldn't, then it shouldn't be happening. I get really anxious and I get really like frustrated, and so it's like she didn't do anything wrong. What the heck? What's going on? Why is this happening? Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That was something I struggled with that episode. But honestly, with the fight and everything the way it was and how it, like even with Emerald's illusion, it was a pretty solid fight up until the end there, and then the illusion happened, and I really was like, I don't like this anymore.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Why are they cheating? Because I didn't understand at the time what Cinder and their role was.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, even though there were setbacks, like with the White Fang in season 2, like Cinder's plan was executed perfectly here in V3. It just went off really without a hitch, and so many more things were added to it as it went along, but she was like, okay, how can we incorporate this, or how can we incorporate that?
It's and when we get a little further into the next couple episodes and they figure out Kira's semblance, her plan just starts to click even more.
Yeah.
Really, but yeah, I agree with where you put it. I would definitely put it top of that. It's a very good episode.
All right. Volume 3, Episode 7, the backstory episode, with Cinder, Mercury, and Emerald in the past, how they all met. We get the first glimpse of maiden powers in the show with Amber, which I think that's a great fight scene. Amber versus Emerald, Mercury, and Neo, or Emerald, Mercury, Cinder. And then we also get the unfortunate reintroduction of Adam Taurus as the leader of the branch of the White Fang. We'll definitely be talking about him. I think it's a relatively solid episode. I just think it's paced very awkwardly. Because it's like you go from Cinder meeting Emerald on the streets to, oh my god, Mercury's dad is dead, and Mercury's dad broke his legs, and he's struggling, he's pretty much dead here, to calm talk with Adam, to big old maiden fight. And it's like the tone, or at least the pacing, is all over the place in this episode, and I think that's what really hammers it down. But I do think it has a strong foundation with the things that it tells us.
It definitely, learning more about the maidens in that episode, I think, really does set up the rest of the volume really well, especially with like Pyrrha's choice and all of that, and how all of that goes, and the training she's doing all along this whole time with Jean, we haven't mentioned yet. And I think that's kind of important too, because that also plays a lot into like the tournament and how he's feeling about himself and things like that.
Yeah,
come into play later. Well,
that's fair. I suppose we should have talked about that in, like, even though it's just the worst thing the show has had to offer, the bullying arc is when that happens consequently.
Yeah, I can see Corden up there and V114. So.
Yeah, it's like the bullying arc is horrible, but it does give us the the thing with Pyrrha and John training, and it's like that's why I put episode 14 above the others, because it actually resolves that whole thing and gives us that. But it's like otherwise I hate the bullying arc. It's so weirdly done. It's so awfully paced, and the animation kind of takes a decline here too. So
yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, volume 3 episode 7 I think is really good. I think this is one that can go above volume 2 episode 8.
Yeah, I could say that, yeah.
Yeah, I think like right above or right above volume 3 episode 1.
We could put 3-1 as well.
Yeah. All right.
I feel there, yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, Destiny. Oh my god, this episode is like an emotional roller coaster, because it's like we start off with getting the beginning conversation with Yang getting disqualified and Blake almost not believing her. It's a sad scene, but it's another one of those scenes that feels very real, because Blake was with Adam. She has very good reasons for not believing someone saying that they didn't commit an act of, especially violence in this case, when she had so many things with Adam. And it's so heartbreaking to see that there could have been a time where Blake just didn't believe her. We get to see Yang cry for the first time. The first time tears have been shown in the show. And then we get the confrontation or the talk between Jean and Pyrrha. And I think that is one of the best exchanges of dialogue in the show, where Pyrrha asks him, "Do you believe in destiny?" And that whole talk is absolutely beautiful. The way that Pyrrha describes everything, it's another one of them where it just sounds so natural. It sounds like, humans are talking to each other instead of a script being read off of itself. It feels so real and emotional, and it's gut-wrenching knowing what happens in the next few episodes.
Dialogue, like the emotional parts of this show almost outshine some of the more cool battle scenes.
Yeah. I think there are quite a few spoken moments in the show, and we'll get to a few of them later. One in particular that is just, they really, like Rooster Teeth with this show, they kind of built different. They did something very unique with this show.
I didn't like when it first came out. I didn't watch it because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And my sibling Rose, sorry about that. My watch is making noise because it's bedtime.
You're good.
But my sibling Rose watched it, and I was like, "What is this show?" Whatever. And because I had only seen the abridged version of it, so to me it was just like some dumb show or whatever.
Yeah.
And when I watched it with Trixie, it really kind of like changed how I felt about certain things.
Yeah.
And it's how we met some of our friends like Lily and stuff. And so it definitely was just the emotions of the show itself and what is put into it. Like it's built different. It's built different than most animation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think that Destiny is one of the best episodes of the show. I think it goes above Food Fight episode. I really think it does.
Oh yeah, totally. I would put it above Food Fight.
Yeah. I don't think it quite reaches Train Battles or Players in Pieces, but it's definitely up there. And then we get to the moment where everything changed once again. Volume 3, Episode 9, PvP, Penny's death. The first actual full character death in the show. And Cinder's speech about trust and the leaders. I love the line, "The existence of peace is fragile, and the leaders of our kingdoms conduct their business clad in iron gloves." That's such an impactful line. It really speaks to political stuff today, and it's just so good.
Did somebody say political stuff today? Sorry, I haven't been paying attention.
This episode is so phenomenal. I think it is by far one of the show's best. It's one of the highest viewed in Rooster Teeth history. I think this Volume 3, Episode 11 and Volume 3, Episode 12 are the highest viewed RWBY episodes of all time. Which is crazy to me. I love both of these episodes. I love V3E9. It's so good. The shock and awe about Penny just dying, a main character getting just kind of unceremoniously killed off just to make a statement.
And in a very brutal way as well.
Yeah.
Because
call her a bank, because call her a bank because Penny just got turned into quarters.
Very good joke.
Sorry.
Well, because it comes down to, again, Emerald and the illusions.
Yes.
And when they found out, because Mercury had in class had fought Pyrrha, and that's how they found out what her semblance was.
Yeah.
And so they constructed this plan, and Emerald would make an illusion where Penny would become very threatening to Pyrrha, and then it would force Pyrrha to use her semblance, which is magnetism, and it ended up literally shredding him.
Yeah. It's very brutal. And it's and I love especially the fact that everything about the result of this fight, every single detail that led to what happened was built up so well over time. I think that is also the best part about Volume 3 is that every element that it cemented in these last 6 episodes, everything built up to this point. Nothing was too rushed. Nothing was too slow. I don't think everything was paced just right for this volume to hit so damn hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely was. Of all the shows that I've watched and like a bunch of seasons and stuff, I think that construction wise and story wise and progression and stuff, I think that RWBY Volume 3 is probably one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
As a season series. Yeah, series season. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think this is above Train Fight, honestly. To me.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Alrighty. Volume 3, Episode 10, Battle of Beacon. There's honestly not a lot in this episode. It's just a lot of small cameos from different areas. We get a few fight scenes. We don't get much. We get introduced to Blake and Adam, but nothing really happens until the last 2 episodes. We get the introduction of Kevin the Grim Dragon, officially named by the fandom, which Rooster Teeth took that name, and they were like, yep, the dragon's name is Kevin.
That's not fair, that dragon.
But we do get Roman back in the picture in this episode, which Roman Torchwick is always amazing. He is probably my second favorite villain in the show.
Your favorite villain in the show?
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later on. I don't want to spoil y'all. And then we also get the Order 66 moment, where the Atlesian drones and bots turn on everybody. And it's like, I love the fact that they just unapologetically used some pretty used kind of events and incorporated them into the setting, because like you got the tournament arc, you got the school, you got the Order 66, you got the big climactic battle where the school is destroyed. You got all these classic tropes, but it makes the show feel so much more alive. I don't know what it is.
I think it's fair to say that yes, it has a lot of tropes, but Rooster Teeth did really well with them.
Oh, absolutely. I think this is more of like a bottom of A tier episode instead of an S tier.
Yeah.
But
I would agree with that.
Heroes and Monsters, Volume 3, Episode 11. We get the so many whammies of this episode are insane. We get Velvet's semblance being revealed, like the holograms and the photographic memory. We get the battle, or the first fight between Blake and Adam, and then Roman Torchwick dying, which is just, it hurts, but it's like fantastic moment for Ruby as a character. But then we get the ultimate double whammy of Amber dying, the Maiden Powers going to Cinder, and Yang's arm being cut off.
Yeah.
And it's just everything.
Done.
It's just, we rose to a point where it was like, our heroes can win this. We can do it. And then it's like, nope. It's like the show is like you want to win? You want the heroes to win? No.
You want good things for your favorite character?
No.
How dare you?
We're also gonna show Blake almost getting decapitated, which
It's gonna be great.
Decapitation.
yeah, it's such a good episode, and it's so well paced too, because the first half is that like really triumphant, like everybody's going ham. Ironwood's alive and he's got like the half the metal body. Crow reveals his scythe, and it's like all this good stuff is happening, but then the last half of the volume or the last half of the episode is just, oh, you thought that was good? Failure. Just again and again and again. The knife is just stabbed in and twisted over and over again. I think this is one of my favorite episodes of the show, just because of that twisting the knife in your gut. Oh, it's so good.
I would solidly agree with that.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the strongest the show has to offer. Just period.
Yeah. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of action, a lot of twists and turns, and yes, very many digging that knife ins.
And then the finale of Volume 3. What
Are we talking about now?
What is there to say about this episode that hasn't already been said? Just phenomenal.
Do you believe in destiny?
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like pure as death. It's such a hit to your feels. Because it's like next to Ruby, Juniper are technically the next main characters. And killing off Pyrrha right when her character arc had gone so far as it did, right after confessing to Jean, it's like, holy shit.
I know that she kisses him, but does she tell him exactly? I don't remember.
She doesn't tell him, but she kisses him and just shoves him off. Puts him in the locker and booms him away. And it's just that. And it's like, you can tell that she's going into the battle with Cinder just to give everybody else more time. It's almost like she knows she's not coming out alive. And it's so fucking heartbreaking.
It's definitely... There's a lot to say about emotional development in that episode. And maturity, especially within Pyrrha. And gosh dang. Definitely with Pyrrha and like Jean being like, wait, what's happening? You can't. No, we had to talk about this.
Jean's voice acting too in the episode, when he's on the phone with Weiss and Ruby, like his breaking point there. Oh, Miles is such a good voice actor for Jean.
It was heartbreaking to watch that episode, and like, I don't know much about voice acting, but I can appreciate it, and hearing Miles just like the distress in his voice, that alone makes this a really good episode for me. It's like the voice acting in there.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Ruby Silver Eyes, which is just another thing to add to the mind fucks of this volume. And then we get face to face with the big baddie, Salem, at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing her, like, I remember vividly watching the episode premiere on Rooster Teeth. I was in the live chat when Salem appeared on screen, and the chat went crazy. Everybody was going nuts. It was like the first appearance of Salem as a character is so terrifying, looking so menacingly at the camera, and I can't wait to watch you burn. Oh, it's so good.
I mean, it's a hell of a line to serve like that, really.
Oh, and Salem served. Like, I think...
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, this is like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could give it there, or behind 6, but yeah, definitely up there with it.
Okay. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I am getting very tired. So I think we're going to do what the show did, and we're going to split these streams into arcs. Tonight we did 1 through 3. Next we're going to do 4 through 6. And after that we're going to do 7 through 9. I think...
And then we're going to top it off by doing a gender tier list.
No.
That's an inside joke.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think this list is pretty nice.
I think it's a pretty solid list. Yeah.
What's that?
I think it's a pretty solid list, yeah.
I love volumes 1 through 3. And as much as people shit on like the rest of the series, I do love the rest of the series. And we're going to get into talking about like why volumes 4 through 9, I guess, going forward are so good. Like, I really love everything Ruby has to offer, and I think saying that everything after volume 3 is bad is just such a disservice to the show, and really just such a disservice to Monty. because
Yeah.
it's like you abandon the show because the fight scenes aren't as good. Really? You're
It
not.
wasn't Monty, like, Monty was good for the fight scenes and stuff, but he also did so much more for the show. And he set it up with people he trusted.
Yeah, and the thing that most people don't get is that Monty wasn't a writer for the show. That man designed the characters and he did the fight animation. And, you know, in the beginning, all of the animation for Volume 1, which that's still so impressive to me. He did every second of animation for the entirety of Volume 1, which is nuts. Nobody worked on it except for him.
Yeah. He was just...
Yeah. He was, again, just kind of built different.
Yeah.
And so many people attribute 4 through 9 being bad to bad writing. And if you think it's bad writing, then the rest of the show should be bad writing, because it was written by the same people the entire time.
As I understand, Monty had the vision for the beginning and when it would end and how it would end.
Yeah.
And
Miles and Carrie just were tasked by him to get from point A to point B, and they wrote the broad strokes of what happens. And it's like saying that everything just kind of went topside after V3 is doing such a disservice to the show.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's just so much more to the show than people think. Like it's not just fight scenes. It's not just like bad guys and things. There's emotion and there's heart and there's
oh my god, yeah.
There's so much more into the show than there is.
And I think the ending of Volume 3 really opened the door for them, because originally RWBY was like, it was still like a PG rated show. Everything Volume 3 and after was like, they upgraded to like TV 14, and there's actually an episode of the show that's rated TVMA. That's in Volume 9, by the way. I'm pretty sure you know which one that is.
I know which one then, yeah.
Yeah, Episode 8.
Volume 9, I know which one.
I just want to say, the TV 14 rating is OP.
Yeah, it's like you can get away with a lot without being...
You can get away with a lot, but you still can't say the F word.
Stranger Things begs to differ.
Umbrella Cat.
Yeah, that too.
I didn't know what their ratings were then, so...
Yeah, Umbrella Academy and...
I thought they were M.
Nope. Stranger Things and Umbrella Academy are TV 14, which is...
Well, the more you know.
The oddest thing ever. But yeah.
But of course, 12-year-old me was like, yeah, it's only 2 years.
2 years from now, I got this. I'm mature enough.
Yeah. But all right. I think that will conclude our stream for the night.
Thanks for having me.
I'm probably gonna edit this down and post it as like an actual video to the channel, so eventually. when I have the time.
I don't get to talk much about RWBY with Trixie, because then it's like her hyperfixation takes over.
Yeah. All right.
It's nice actually.
And we will continue this next time, whenever the fuck that's gonna be. So yeah. To those in the chat or in the YouTube version, thanks for coming, thanks for watching. Goodbye. In due time.